Hello, all my beautiful, beautiful people, and welcome to the message. We're kind of doing this old school vibes right now. In the car, this is where it all began, was in the car before I made up the witch hut that we've all come to know and love. But I kind of feel like, I was saying it to myself earlier, I'm like, it's like the spiral again that I've been talking about, how time and lessons always go in spirals in our life where we revisit themes and it expands. I feel like I'm revisiting something here today with coming out and exploring and bringing the same card decks with me as well. So let's see if we can expand on a message or whatever message wants to come through. Let's just find out. So we're going to start with the animal spirit. Classic. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's like old tricks, something about that. I don't know, we'll see. Let's find out here. Okay, spirit, what animal message would like to come through here for this beautiful collective of people? Take what resonates, leave the rest. We have the shark reverse. Okay, super interesting. And the octopus on the bottom of the deck. Okay. The shark reverse and the octopus on the bottom of the deck. I'm definitely going to need more information about this with the tarot, but right off the bat, the shark talks about something lurking in the depths of our being, something lurking around us. But when something's lurking around us, it's often because it's a reflection of something lurking within us. So it's this uncomfortable, uneasy energy that we get in our being because there's something really deep that's like instinctual or that has been kind of hiding itself in our shadow that really wants to be revealed. It wants to be seen. And it's very powerful as well. It's very powerful, but it's misunderstood as well a lot of the time. We misunderstand it as something scary when it's actually something that can be very helpful and really balances us out. I've talked about that before with the shark being a very misunderstood creature in the ocean. A lot of people are afraid of the shark when in reality it's actually extremely powerful and needed and can be a really beneficial friend if we get to know it. I've spoken to before about how I have dreams sometimes, and I had this dream last night again, but I will have dreams sometimes where I dream of a certain animal. And it happens very rarely, but I'll be afraid of that animal. Clearing my throat. Expression. This might be something that needs to be said for a lot of you because I've been clearing my throat since the beginning of this message all of a sudden. Something that wants to be said or expressed that you're afraid and that feels dangerous but needs to be nonetheless. This could be to someone else, but I feel like for most of you, a lot of you, this is something that wants to be said just as like your not reclamation, I wanted to just say. So yes, it's a reclamation of something. It's a reclamation of something that has been hidden or that you've suppressed or that feels like it's been taken from you. But it's more like a declaration. That's the word I was looking for. This is more like your declaration to me. This is like your own this is like your own really strong strength of just self. I don't know. Okay, cool. Spirit, is there, what else to explain about this? Did I fully explain the dream just now? This is one of those messages where I feel like I'm in like water energy. So this could be sacral. Did I already say that about how in the dream I'm afraid of whatever animal it is that appears, and I know that when I'm afraid of that animal, it's because that animal represents an aspect of myself that I'm learning to embrace or to like understand. I explained once that I dreamed of a tiger or a lion that I was very afraid of because I knew how powerful it was and intense it was, and I was afraid it could, like, I knew it could consume me as well. But it was really an aspect of myself that I needed to embrace and learn for the next level of my life. So I've heard it said, if there are animals that appear to you in visions, dreams, or even just in real life, and you're afraid of them or you feel a resistance towards that animal for any reason, then there could be something in that animal's symbolism that represents something you're afraid of within yourself. Interesting. Okay. So maybe the part of this sort of like confusion that I just forgot what I was saying for a minute and forgot if I'd said something, it's almost like this veil being put over my being right now, or this lack of focus. That could be this octopus on the bottom of the deck here. The octopus being about boundaries and about getting entangled in things. So the octopus is very adaptable, and it's very perceptive. It's able to really shape itself and camouflage itself as needed in a beneficial way for itself and its environment. It's more flexible and more shape-shifting. We've talked about shape-shifting before on this channel. It's more shape-shifting than most. It's what makes it kind of alien. But this tendency to shape-shift could actually be what is like the coping mechanism that's used to avoid this shark. Okay, that's it, yeah. So you may find that when this shark energy starts to come up in you, or you start feeling like this shark is circling, you just kind of shapeshift again. You shapeshift into another character, you shapeshift into another part of yourself, another aspect of your being, to kind of like camouflage or avoid this part of yourself. Or if there's a situation in your life where this shark energy starts to bubble up, rather than facing that shark energy head on, you might feel like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go over here and I can handle that. Like I can shapeshift and go do this for a bit. But it might feel like you're pretending a lot. It might feel like you're pretending, and not that this octopus side of yourself, that this shape-shifting part of you is false, because it's not. It's a part of you that adapts and that is very intelligent, because that's a very intelligent thing to be able to do. It's more that when used to avoid part of ourselves, when used to avoid our instincts, when used to avoid that core of who we really are, that's when it can become, I just got the starfish in my mind's eye as well here from this deck. That's when it can kind of become used as like it starts to feel superficial. It starts to feel like it's not the full depth of who you are, basically. And the shark is all about depth. The full depth of who you are is wanting to be seen and utilized right now. And that's what the shark is calling for. But yeah, there's a resistance to it for whatever reason. Or it feels like maybe even if not a resistance, it's subconsciously difficult for you to access. And your conscious mind, you may even be listening to this right now, like, well, I don't know how to even access that. Like, I know there's something there, but I don't really know. It doesn't feel like a conscious choice to be able to access it. So that's interesting. And that's where I think I'm going to go to the tarot, because I feel like I want more information on why that's difficult to access for you, or what this could be. So let's get into that. What is this shark energy, spirit, and why is it difficult to access? Thank you. Why is this shark energy difficult to access? What is it? Okay, first, what is it? What is this shark energy? Thank you. This shark energy that is lurking. Six of Swords reverse. Okay, so an inability to move forward in your life, an inability to move out of conflict as well, because the Five of Swords, just before this, I saw the Five of Wands in my mind's eye as well. The Five is the card of conflict, upheaval, radical change. It's the undoing of the Four, which is the stability. So maybe you've been through a period in your life where you went through conflict, you went through chaos and upheaval for a while for a lot of you. Okay, a confirmation bird's coming through here. Sometimes they take a minute, so I gotta pause. Okay, there we go. That was a long one. That could be significant. So this is like a long time coming then. This is like a slow build of something that happened in your life. Or this is something that has crept up insidiously as well. This could be what this shark is and why it's so in your subconscious and so difficult, but you feel it, and why it feels so uneasy and uncomfortable is because it has kind of crept in, sort of like a frog in boiling water, right? I feel like conflict itself and the feeling of being in fight or flight mode, survival mode, warrior mode, I feel like it has kind of slowly but surely made its way into your subconscious as like a belief about life. It's almost like you believe that in life you have to constantly be fighting, you constantly have to be like watching out for, almost paranoid sometimes for some of you, of like of just conflict or having to like speak up against something, because my throat chakra there. It's like you're constantly afraid of your truth being stolen from you, or you're constantly afraid of somebody suppressing your voice, or it's like you're always getting ready for the next battle. That's what this uneasiness is, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like, even when things are going really well in your life. So even if this Six of Swords, right, is upright, because that's why we pulled this Six of Swords energy, which it talks about, okay, it's over, right? Moving forward into calmer waters, peaceful waters. We're moving to the next shore. It's like, even when that opportunity is presented to you, I keep itching the inside of my right ear too, for some reason. That's like the masculine side. Interesting. Like an irritability. Okay, so let's get this straight. Every time you are presented with an opportunity to move forward, even when all the like predators are gone, the monsters are gone, you know, you've dealt with the conflict, you went through that time in your life, yes. And conflict is a part of life. It comes around, the spiral, right? Every so often it comes around. This could be why we're revisiting this now at this time, because a number of months ago, I was reading this energy as well, this conflict energy. A lot of you have gone through really difficult cycles with like narcissistic energies, people who genuinely were very abusive, straight up, and difficult. But this is the expansion. Every time you feel like you're about to move forward, it's hard for me to even get to this energy right now. It's like, this is the resistance part of it. It's hard for me to explain to you what's happening, because it's like this energy wants to pull you in so much. This conflict energy, you have a very hard time letting go of it and actually moving on from it and moving forward. It's like you're still holding on to the fact, okay, so what can happen is sometimes we get so used to this cycle, right? So it's built up so insidiously that it's become almost like a subconscious belief about life itself, that you're going to face these energies everywhere you go now, or in everything you do. So it's almost safer for you to just constantly stay in that vigilant mode than it is for you to move on and move forward freely. The Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. So the Hierophant can be a little bit stuck in his ways sometimes. The Hierophant is Taurus energy. Confirmation perf wants to come through. The Hierophant can be a bit stubborn in his beliefs, can get a little bit religious thinking sometimes too. I think of like, I don't know why, with the original Hierophant, I think of like the Pope, like the Catholic Church, and we know the Catholic Church is a very, very religious structure that has a lot of very rigid rules and things. So this is kind of the energy. It's almost like internally you've created like a very rigid structure, very rigid rules about how life is now for you without even realizing it. And your subconscious operates based on these rules you've created for yourself in your life based on your experiences. But Spirit wants you to know that just because you've experienced something once before does not mean you're going to experience it the same way again. And you already went through this cycle to learn this aspect of yourself and to have this perspective. And so now you're going to be learning something different. You're not going to repeat the cycle if you learned the lessons of it. And part of not repeating this cycle is allowing yourself to move into that Six of Swords, to move forward into calmer waters, releasing some of those rigid beliefs. But beliefs, it's hard to just release a belief, right? A belief is a belief for a reason. It's embedded within. So how do we change those beliefs, Spirit? How do we change these beliefs about life being a conflict or needing to constantly be in this like warrior mode? And I feel like it's, for a lot of you too, the shark could also represent like whoever it was that you were battling or whatever it was that you were battling. Like that shark energy feels like it comes around, and it's almost like you either want to go attack it or you suppress it fully, but it's still there because it's an aspect of yourself ultimately that you're afraid of almost. Yeah, like whatever is represented in these energies you have had to battle in the external, there are certain things about those energies that are actually also within you and your shadow that, if used for, how do I word this here? If consciously made aware and like faced, you would be able to use those things that you saw being used negatively in the external energy for like empowerment and for upliftment. So let's say for example, what the energy I was reading a lot in the summer, the narcissist empath dynamic that happens a lot. So you're the empath here, and you went through a relationship or situation, group dynamic, whatever it may be, with some kind of narcissistic energy, and you were battling that energy. But it was like a karmic loop that didn't end, and it's very difficult to remove yourself from that energy, and you still feel very charged by that energy. Well, the reason is because confirmation verb wants to come through, and it's building. The reason is because there are aspects of each other's shadow in the empath and narcissist. The empath has the aspects of the narcissist in their shadow, and the narcissist has aspects of the empath in their shadow. So an empath, let's take for example, is somebody who has sometimes a lack of boundaries and is just very open and allows other people, like they kind of take on as a surrogate for others, their emotions, their energies, and like allow themselves to give their power away, their core away, their sense of self away. Whereas a narcissist has an extremely inflated sense of self, and it's all about them, and they're very selfish in their sense of self. So you can see how like those are sort of the puzzle pieces that fit together. Is you have one person who has no sense of self and then another who has an extreme sense of self. So this is why this dynamic can happen, is because really deep down as the empath, your growth in this life is to develop a stronger sense of self while still maintaining your empathic abilities. And so it's about like looking at that energy of like the narcissist, for example, and seeing how they exhibit this extreme sense of self. And oftentimes in life, you'll see a lot of narcissists being very successful in business, being very successful in certain enterprises because of this extreme sense of self, because there are obviously light and shadow aspects to everything in life. And so it's important for you to be able, part of your spiritual growth here has been discerning and learning like, okay, what is in this other energy that I'm supposed to learn about myself? And that's what it could be for a lot of you, is learning your sense of self and learning how by you suppressing your sense of self, you attract it in its shadow in others. And so it's about learning to develop a healthy, confident sense of self, not one that is like a megalomaniac or one that is like covert and manipulative, but one that is genuinely like strong and sturdy and that you are aware of, if that makes sense. strength on the bottom of the deck here. I didn't even notice. Yeah, you're here, you're learning your strength. And this could be I mean, in a lot of ways, this is how you release the beliefs around this is by embracing your strengths, embracing your power, because strength is Leo. It's the number, 11? And I've always associated it with 8, but anyway, could be just the infinity symbol that's on the lion, I think. Embracing your strength, and like I just said, yeah, like really embracing that sense of self, that core, that solar plexus energy, being a little more bold and a little more daring, and letting yourself feel the riskiness and feel the discomfort and feel the path of, it's a fiery path, Leo energy. I'm getting Aries energy too, like with the full moon we just had, and just that general sense of like claiming what is yours in this life, claiming what is yours. And what is yours is your self-respect, your self-esteem, your sense of honor of yourself, not allowing other people to just walk all over you. And I think this is getting pretty deep psychologically here. I think sometimes, I am speaking to empaths now for sure, if you're resonating with this, or people who have general tendencies like this, more vulnerable tendencies. Even sometimes going out and fighting another energy really hard is sort of just the extreme opposite of the polarity. So at one time you were sort of like submissive and allowed yourself to be used and abused by these energies, but then the opposite is that, like fighting it, like being the warrior, sometimes even becoming like the dark empath, right? Like playing your own manipulative games to try to like seek vengeance, all these things. And all of it's valid. Like all of it's valid. It's all the game, it's all the play, the dance between these two ends of the poles. But I think that true peace and true self-realization comes from being able to transcend this and find the middle way. And the middle way is not giving your power away, but it's also not in fighting. I actually just made a TikTok about this. This is a journey I've been on too. And this voice, it's not about suppressing your voice, and it's not about using your voice to go fight this energy either. It's about just being the truth. This is where the empath heals. I believe Carl Jung said this. The empath heals not by trying to heal everyone else with all their energy and all their light, and taking on everyone's energy with their light either. And it's not necessarily about sort of, I guess, yeah, like becoming like the dark empath either. Confirmation burp. It's about just being the truth. And being the truth is just following your instinct. So again, reclaiming that sense of self that you felt was stolen from you, or that you feel has been entangled in this other person, that octopus energy again. You feel that part of yourself is entangled in this other person because it's this psychic entanglement where you have, okay, so just like you have surrogated all of the narcissist's emotions and whatnot, you have also like pushed your sense of self onto the narcissist. Like they're surrogating your sense of self. That's why they can feel so powerful, is because you're actually giving away your sense of self to them. This is that psychic entanglement. So it's about detaching and realizing, I am autonomous, I am sovereign, my sense of self is my sense of self, and I'm going to create with that what I want to create. When you feel like you want to be a warrior, when you feel like you want to fight, one of the real most powerful forms of alchemy is taking that sense of anger, that sense of instinctual rage, and rather than trying to go fight someone else, because this is more disempowering, it's actually a form of disempowerment to constantly be fighting somebody for something that you don't believe you have. The truest form of empowerment and of alchemy here with anger is to just channel that into creation, channel it into creating what you want to create, and don't ask for permission. You don't need to ask for permission to create what you want to create. This is one of the greatest lessons to overcome as the more empathic character. You don't need permission. You can go for what you want, and you can create what you want with your power. This is that shark. So this shark that's been circling is your sense of self. It's your sense of power that you have been projecting into other people, and this fight externally. You keep feeling, you're projecting it out into the world, and so you think you have to fight the world or fight other people because you think they all have this part of you, but they really don't. It's all in your own mind. It's all in your own psyche. You have the power to reclaim that and just take all of that energy you're projecting out at the world, or all that paranoia or distrust, and pull it back into yourself and be like, this is my game. Because it is. At the end of the day, this is your game. You are the controller, the conscious controller and ruler of your life. And you get to experience it how you see fit through your personal power and personal, the control you do have personally. So yeah, this is a big self-empowerment moment for you. Reclamation and declaration. Those are the perfect words to describe it. You're reclaiming what you felt was taken from you, and declaring it. You're just declaring, like, this is who I am. No one can steal this from me. No one can steal your soul. No one can steal your creativity or your ability to generate anew. And anybody who thinks that they can steal from you, anybody who thinks they can take anything from you, first of all, is disempowered themselves. There's insecurity there. And second of all, it's an illusion. It's an illusion because they can't. They can't take anything from you. And that's what they depend on. They depend on you believing that illusion. They depend on you believing that they've taken something from you. They haven't, and they can't. You're going to waste a lot of energy fighting or avoiding. Fight or flight, right? That's the fight or flight response. You're going to spend a lot of energy fighting things or flying away from something, avoiding something, if you don't take the time to really acknowledge this truth about yourself here and about what you've been through. The truth is, you are you. Your power belongs to you. It's here in yourself, in your vessel. You just have to claim it and practice claiming it consistently with strength. Is there anything else there in the Tarot Spirit before I move on to the closing messages? Two of Wands. Okay, yeah. And Queen of Pentacles reverse. Okay, so Two of Wands here. This image here in this deck specifically, it's like the hand is really holding this global object, shape, this world. I always think of it like they're holding the world in their hands. And with these two wands, there are options to decide what they're going to do with it. The two of Wands is a choice point, and it's a potential point. It's where manifestation is beginning to take place in the mental realm. It's beginning to really take place where you get to decide what you want to create here, and there's an opportunity to start fresh. So whatever you're thinking about and whatever you're dedicating your energy towards, that is what is going to manifest and be created at this time in your life. So continuing to focus on past cycles, or again, projecting your creative energy out into these mental ideas about how life is, or about how other people are going to be with you, or about conflict, or thinking that things are against you, rather than doing that, because that will literally manifest as your reality, pull that energy in and really consciously decide what you want to create. Decide where you want to project your energy. Where do you actually want to put your energy? What do you actually want to create? How do you want to project your personal power that no one has taken from you and can't take from you? How do you want to project that? How do you want to use that? You're being given an opportunity right now to do this. And with Queen of Pentacles on the bottom reverse, the way I just read that is you don't need a bunch of resources. You don't need a bunch of material things to be able to do this. Like, I think that there's this really big illusion in our world where so many people never start creating or never start manifesting what it is that it says upgrade your life on the bus in front of me, LOL. So many people avoid upgrading their lives because they think they need some kind of like certain amount of material things or status or whatever it may be to get going. They think they need it all together. They need the perfect plan, or they need the perfect setup to be able to create. But I think some of the most genius creativity and some of the most genius creation happens when you're able to figure out how to create out of just, again, your own essence. Ooh, big confirmation burp. Let's go through here. Some of the greatest manifestation that I've experienced in my own life has happened this way, where something kind of just came out of nothing. They say too, success is not what you have, it's what you do with what you have. So you can be successful anywhere in your life. It does not matter how much you have. It's about making what you can with what you have. And being able to know that that's your power. Because when is it enough? When is a certain amount of material resources, when is a certain amount of status, when is a certain amount of numbers of something, when is a certain amount of anything ever enough? That's the illusion. That's the illusory thing that we're always chasing after in our mind. That's what the mind is after, is attaching itself to more accumulation of things before the soul can act. That's the ego. The ego will constantly, your whole life will be that. Your whole life will be chasing, well, I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough. You don't need all of that to begin. You don't need all that to begin, because beginning starts with that fire energy, right? It's the inspiration. It's the thought. It's the intention. It's the impulse. It's that taking the action anyway. Taking the action anyway, that's a big one with Aries energy here the last couple of days. Strength, fire, take the action anyway. Even if it doesn't feel like in your mind you think that there's enough to get going, there is. You'll be surprised at how the universe collaborates with you when you show the initiative, when you show that you are trusting, when you show that you're ready to follow that true inner soul voice of yours over that noisy ego mind. But you have options. Like Spirit wants to say, the pieces are coming together, because next there's the Three of Wands. That's where all the pieces come together and you're moving on into a new adventure. So get busy directing your energy into the right places rather than focusing on what has been and what's over. And a really big lesson for you right now is learning how to overcome this inner loop and dialogue and anxiety that's telling you over and over, you have to deal with that thing before you can get moving. You have to figure this out before you can get moving. No, once you get moving, it will come together. You will figure it out as you get moving. So get moving. Get moving is what Spirit basically wants to say here with that dream of yours, because the best time to claim it is now, today. You have this one life to live right now that you know of. And you have these dreams for a reason. The reason you have the dreams you do is because they're meant to be accomplished in this life right now. Don't procrastinate it another day. Don't put it off another day. Begin. Face the shark. You are the shark. Because that's the thing too here. That shark is not some other thing. That shark is not some other energy that's lurking around. It's you. It's a part of you that wants to be utilized. And the longer you wait to utilize it, the more uncomfortable it will get. You can either have the discomfort of avoiding the thing or the discomfort of facing the thing. Either way, it'll be uncomfortable. To grow and to change, everything feels that way. Every action does. Any action that forces us to become a new version of ourselves is always going to be uncomfortable. But you can do it. You have the power to do so. It's right there inside you. Like, I'm seeing it so clearly in my mind's eye right now. It's such an illusion to think this is the game of life. This is literally the game of life. Is you remembering your real power and that it's all within you, and that everything that you perceive externally to be an obstacle in the way is really just a projection of your own inner beliefs. Period. That's literally how the law of attraction, that's literally how universal law works. That's how this whole matrix is constructed, is by the energy of belief, by the energy of the mind, and where energy is directed from the mind. We've all been given this gift as humans of creation, creativity. So you're being challenged to use it the way you see fit, consciously. All right, Spirit, can we get a closing message here for this beautiful collective? This one? Integrate your knowing. And there's what looks like a fox. It might be a coyote, but it looks like a fox to me. And creator water here. It's that shark. The fox is a very clever creature. It's very adaptable, has a lot of ingenuity. Integrate your knowing. So this is exactly that. You know a lot of this. A lot of what I've said in this reading is really just confirmation for you and a remembering. You know all of this at a soul level. You know in your intuition that this is true, because truth holds a vibration and it feels empowering to hear the truth and to know the truth. You know it in your soul if you resonate here. Spirit's really just asking you to integrate it, to put it into action. Allow yourself to feel the discomfort of your body, your mind, your ego overcoming for the sake of the soul's growth. Trust the soul over all. Trust your instincts, trust your heart. And use the massive creative force within you, this shark energy, this deep well of water to flow. Use your emotions to create. Speaking to a lot of artists who are very good at translating emotions into meaningful pieces of art. Continue doing that if you are already doing that. And if you are feeling like you want to begin something, start. Really start. Just start taking that action, opening that channel and letting it flow. Let it out. Let it be. We need it. We need people who are willing to, this is the greatest rebellion. We need people who are willing to rebel against the current state of affairs that tells people they cannot move forward, they cannot create until they have everything in order. Because the very system is designed to keep you in a perpetual state like this. You see so many people complaining about, capitalism and the economy and whatnot. It's getting worse, etc. Well, because it's part of the great game. That's kind of the game. And I don't think anyone's in control of the game, by the way. I think this is just how it's manifested. The great game is that, like, are you going to choose to fall into what the external's telling you, what all those systems are telling you, and to keep you on the perpetual hamster wheel? Or are you going to break the chain and just rebel and create what you want to create anyway, no matter what? That's the courage. That's the strength portion. That's how you break it. So break the cycle. So that's your message. That's your reading. I love you lots. This has been a really fun one to do here in this car. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye-bye, my empowered souls.